Okay, I just can't work anything today. All right, the magnitude. You need to write that down, but you already know it because it's based on what? What's that based on? Pythagorean theorem. So write it down, huh? I didn't hear what you said. Oh, blow it up. I can't hear it. It's basically the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. Now the hypotenuse is always what? It's always the wrong side, but it's always positive because the distance cannot be negative. So the hypotenuse is always positive, and you're going to see that again in the future. So u are the resultant vector is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared, which is your two legs, which is your two vectors that's usually given. Now there could be three vectors given. And the three vectors, you're talking about head and tail. We'll get into that a little bit later. So absolute value of u, or the hypotenuse, is equal to the square root of one leg squared plus the other leg squared. And you can also put that the tangent of theta is equal to b over a. Opposite over what? Adjacent. But that depends on where your little man is. Everybody got that? I just can't do anything right today. All right, here's an example. They give you a vector of 3, negative 2. So you take your handy dandy (3, negative 2). So you draw your handy dandy straight lines. Really green. And what did it say? 3, negative 2. So we're going to take this red line maker and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and negative 2. So they're giving you the what? They're giving you the hypotenuse. So that means you're going to drop a straight line down. I'll do this in magenta. I really do. And there's nothing inside coming out. And then blue is that line right there. So now that they've given us the hypotenuse, 3, 2, the u is equal to 3, negative 2. They're basically giving you the 3 here and the negative 2 here, which we did in trig. Which basically u is equal to the square root of 3 squared plus 2 squared is equal to the square root of 9 plus 4, which is equal to what? Square root of 13, which is, we're just going to put the square root of 13 for right now. And then the little man is right here. We can find that angle by whichever one you want. Oscar had, so that's going to be sine of theta is equal to negative 2 over the square root of 13, or theta is equal to the inverse sine of 2 over 13 negative. And somebody give me that angle. What? 3 days later. Much? Be negative 33 degrees. Round about whatever y'all get, but that is equal to negative 33 degrees. Or whatever it comes out to be. So that's, it depends on what they're asking. Sometimes they'll ask for theta, sometimes they'll ask for just the length or the magnitude of this black vector. Depends on what they're asking for. And they may ask for the tangent, and then you have to find right here, which would be negative 2 over 3. So let's look at a nerd. That's time where I was. Nope. But before it was called lines, now it's called vectors. It's the same thing. Now, you're going to see this a lot, so you need to write that down. You're going to see this a lot in physics and calc 2. R sine theta, R cosine theta. Now, it doesn't have an R there. That's because they want to confuse you later on. But in the future, it's going to be R sine theta and R cosine theta. To find the Y, it's R sine theta. To find the X, it's R cosine theta. R is the hypotenuse. So just, you don't have to put absolute value of U. You could just put R if you want to. And you can put Y instead of B. Y is equal to R sine theta. X is equal to R cosine theta. That's if they give you the hypotenuse and you need to find the legs. R sine theta and R cosine theta. So we take it over to the whiteboard, and let's just take a straight line maker and we'll color it green. And we start right here. And let's say we go up here, and there's our line. And let's say that theta hold on a second. Yeah. Theta is equal to 40 degrees. And magnitude of this vector is 36b or 36 whatever. That's the magnitude. So if they give us that, then that means that we've got to find this, and we've got to find this. They would say, given that theta is 40 degrees and the magnitude of the vector is 36 units, find x and y. We'll find the order or something like that. So, x is equal to r cosine theta, and y is equal to r sine theta. The way that I remember this is I tell students to remember this right here, and that looks like a post on a what? On a sign. That's how I tell people to remember it. Stop sign. It's like a post on a sign. So that's how I tell people to remember it. And then 1, if y is equal to r sine theta, then you know that x is equal to r cosine. So, I want my x coordinate, and that's going to be 36 times cosine of 40 degrees, which we're going to be able to calculate out. And that's what? 27.6. X is equal to 27.6. And then y is equal to 36 times the sine of theta of 40, which is what? 23.14. Y is equal to 23.14, which is, so, your yellow line is 27.6, and your magenta line is 23. Well, it's easy because what? We've done it. We've done it in the previous unit and spent a lot of time doing it. So that's why it's easy to you. What? Well, I had to go through that just to go through it. Let me go to another one. Now here's the resultant vector. I don't know if they've got, and they're going to head to tail and parallelograms. Go ahead and write down the vector operations down here. I'll blow it up for you. And I think you'll see that they're pretty basic. They're nothing rocket science or anything. If you have two vectors and you're adding them, then you can add a plus c and you can add b plus d. If you have a constant times a vector, that's called a multiplier. Then you just multiply by a and b. K is a constant, like 5. If I have 5 times 1 comma 2, then I can distribute that 5 and make it 5 comma 2. If the hypotenuse is equal to a and a sub 1 and a sub 2, which is the coordinates, then negative hypotenuse is going the opposite direction, means negative a and negative x and negative y in the opposite direction. That's self-explanatory. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. And B minus CD is equal to all that. Just distribute the negative. The A minus C and B minus D. You don't use these a lot. This one you do. You use that, but the second one you use quite a bit. All right, here's a little exercise right here. Let u is equal to 2, negative 2, and 1. and b is equal to 4, comma 3. Find and illustrate A, u plus v, and B, negative 2u, and C, 3 times u minus 2v. Okay, so work on that right quick. And don't make it difficult. It's not that difficult. What do y'all think about Paul Ryan? What? Okay. No, he's from Wisconsin. He's from Wisconsin. Pretty much is. And Robert De Niro says that somebody he wants to punch Donald Trump in the face. I don't know. I really think that Hollywood is going to lose their freaking mind over Donald Trump. They're so scared. Okay, who's Jack White? Well, somebody's got a picture in here. It says Jack White looks like Michael Cera dressed up as Johnny Depp on Halloween. Who's Jack White? He must not be very popular. He's what? Oh, he's a nut.
Who's the other Scientologist? Isn't John Travolta a Scientologist? Listen, I heard that Tom Cruise was supposed to convert Steven Spielberg and look better.
Yeah, but I think the unicorn got in the way. And the leprechaun. And on top of Sugar Mountain. Or Candy Mountain. Alright, how do you do the first one? Says u plus v, so negative 2 plus 4 and 1 plus 3. Negative 2 plus 4 is 2. 1 plus 3 is, so that's A, thank you. B says I'm going to take u, and I'm going to multiply negative 2 by it. And that's going to give us what? Negative 2. And then C, I'm going to take 3 times u minus 2 times v. So 3 times negative 2 and 1 minus 2 times 4 comma 3. And that's going to give us negative 6, comma 3, minus, or plus, a negative 8, comma negative 6. And what is negative 6 plus a negative 8? Negative 14. And what is 3 plus a negative 6? And that's how you do this. So one of the things about vectors is, 1, you already know about them, and 2, you know how to find the angles and you know how to find the sides, and 3, you know how to do the operations. Now that we got you all hyped up, now let's kick the air out of your lungs. Ready? If v is equal, did they go over unit vector? Where? I'm looking. Well, that's what I told you. I'm trying to find it. Oh, thank you. Right here. That's what I was telling you. Unit vector is the magnitude of 1. So if I have this going this way, 1 unit vector of u, which would be 1 and 1, that should be 1. Here it is, 1. There's a unit vector right there. Then if I wanted to go 3 up, then I would take this unit vector and multiply it by 3, and that would be a vector of 3. Now, something else that you need to realize. A unit vector is shown by I and J. You see the I right there and see that J? That's usually what they call a unit vector. When you see I and J right here, that means a unit vector. So you need to write that down. When you get into 3-dimensional space, what do you think the third unit vector is called? That's not rhetorical. I'm asking y'all to what is it? Think. I, J, K. Okay, so you got one going this way, one going that way, and one going this way. 3-dimensional space. Get used to it. Those of you that's taking engineering and sciences, you're going to be doing it for 3 or 4 years. Actually, yeah, change your major to underwater firefighting and make 17,000 a year. Calc 2, Calc 3, Calc DiffyQ, then your physics 2 and 3, and then statics, dynamics, and thermodynamics. You're going to be dealing with vectors for 7 or 8 semesters, which is actually 2 years. So yeah, get you a degree in underwater firefighting, female genders, and no, first, this is what you do. You transfer to Yale or Harvard, something that you can't afford. Okay? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You pay enough money. Okay, now remember, you got to go where you can't afford it. All right, so pick a school you can't afford, then apply for student loans because you can't afford it. Apply for student loans and run up by, what, $300,000 worth of student loans. Get you a degree in underwater firefighting that has no job pool. So when you graduate, you not only have $300,000 worth of student loans, you have no job. And then you can complain and want free tuition from Bernie Sanders. Checks in the mail, that's all I'm afraid of this. All right, AB, then that breaks up into AI plus BJ. You good? Yes or no? Oh yeah. Go ahead and write this down and put it to memory. Well, I would write something, but I can't because my stupid marketing report. I'm glad I've been trained. Still waiting for training. Had them a year. Still waiting for training. The dot product of two vectors is a real number, not a vector. It is also known as the inner product. Dot products are used to determine the angle between two vectors, derive geometric theorems, and solve physics problems. The dot product of two vectors, you're going to hear it called U dot V. That's what they're going to call it. It's not multiplication. Okay? You do multiply the coordinates, but it's called U dot V. Well, they got it written right there. And when you're in physics, that's all you're going to hear. U dot V, U dot C, U dot. You're going to hear it that way. And you basically take the A and the C, multiply them together, and the B and the D, and multiply them together. So, of course, in the example they give you here, they give you 2, 3, dot, 4, negative 1. 2, 3, dot, 4, negative 1. 2 times 3 is 8, and 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. So your dot product of 2, 3, dot, negative 4, 1 is, well, we haven't finished it. Well, 8 plus negative 3 is 5. That's what's the last step. And once you do that, you add them together, and you have 5. Remember, the dot product gives you a number.
What's the equal number?
It is also it's used in problems. Okay, just take my word for it. I remember one where you take the dot product and divide by the vector. I remember that. I think we're probably going to do that here. Yes, write down the properties. U dot V is the same as V dot U. Now, do expect quite a bit of problems on homework with this. Now, is it very complicated?
Yeah.
Good gosh, you call this complicated after doing the identities? This is very simple. It's like basic math. Oh yeah, I forgot. You have to think. What? Well, living in a ditch is a good thing. It's easy, it's simple. There's not much encouragement, not much motivation. It's a good thing. There it is. Go ahead and write this down because these are things you have to highlight with r sine theta, r cosine theta, and the dot product, and this. This is how you find theta when you're given two vectors. So I would say there's 3 important things that we went over. 1 is r sine theta, r cosine theta. 2 is the dot product. And 3 is cosine of theta is u dot v over absolute value of uv. And while you're writing that down, I'll pull an example out and we'll do an example. I'm trying to get back. Come on. No, I'm trying to get back to the whiteboard. There we go. So, write that down. Find the angles between the two vectors, but I want you to draw a picture of letter A and letter B. Draw a picture of the two vectors in the first one and draw a picture of the two vectors. You have to get some idea of what you're looking at. So with the first one, so we'll make this one yellow. So that way you'll complain about it being yellow. 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to draw straight. That's not a straight line. There. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's that line. And then you got another one at 2. Try to do this one in color you can see. 2, 1. One, 2, 1. They want to know the angle between those two vectors. So they want to know that vector, right, that direction. Well, first you got to have the dot product. So do the dot product, and then you got to find the distance, the hypotenuse of u, the hypotenuse of v, and then you've got to multiply on the denominator and put it under the dot product of uv. So 3 times what? 2 plus 4 times what? 4. And 3 times 2 is 6 plus 4 is 10. So that's u dot v. Now, 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to what? 9 plus 16, which is 25, so that's 5. 2 squared is 4, 1 squared is 1, square root of 5. Y'all check me on those two. And that's the hypotenuse of u times the hypotenuse of v. And then that's going to be equal to 10 square root of 5 over 5 times 5. I'm sure I did that right. Yeah. Which that cancels with that, and you get square root of 5 over 5 and somebody, and then the cosine theta is equal to that number, and then theta is equal to the inverse cosine of square root of 5 over 5, and somebody give me that angle. What? Yeah, you're right. Thanks. Thanks. All right. Now, what is the theta of 2 square root of 5 over 5? I'm sorry, what?
26.
26 even?
26.56.
26.6 degrees. Now you do B. Find the angle. Draw it out. And if you could do 15, 16, 20 of these problems, you'd be good. Because I'm going to tell you, I can remember like it yesterday. When you're in physics, you're going to be doing over and over and over and over. My daughter texted me, she said, "You hate Twitter. Why are you on Twitter again?" Just trying.
So the absolute, what do we have, the absolute values is just square root of the sum of the.
You're finding the hypotenuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just take the x coordinate, the y coordinate, square it, add it, x square root of it. And make sure you draw it, because when you draw it, you set up your common sense. You see the angle I came up with, I know that angle is going to be less than 45 degrees.
Yeah.
And it helps you to do that. And you got to get used to doing that, because in physics, that's all you do is draw a three body diagram before you even start. I'm going to include that straight line crap because it makes me mad. 2 and 6, negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 6 and 2. 1, 2, 3, that's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Kind of looks like a 90-degree angle, doesn't it? But we know that it's going to be a big angle. It's going to be close to 90 degrees, if not around 90 degrees. So, 2 times 6 is what? 12. 12 minus 12 is? And then 2 be 4, and 36 is 40, square root of 40. It doesn't matter because what?
Every side of that is 0. So the answer is 0.
I'm trying to get there. Hold on. Okay. And are you talking about this 0?
Yeah, but that's 0.
I know it's going to make the whole thing 0, but I'm just going through the thing. That's okay. Can I be in charge for a while? Okay. And 6 and 2 will be what? 36 and 4 again, be square root of 40, but again, it doesn't matter because anything into 0 is 0. So then you say cosine of theta is equal to 0, and the theta is going to inverse cosine -1 is 0, which comes out to be what? It's amazing. I predicted the future. I said it was going to be 90. Write those two down. Write those two problems down. We're going to do another one here in a second. This is where you can actually see application, because you're finding that angle. And you have nothing but what? You have this, and you have this. That's all you have. So, some of y'all, it might be interesting. Some of y'all that's interested in, like learning. All right. A ship leaves the port. Ship passes in the night. 2 ships passing. I'll show you. Now, if you can't do it, then we'll just consider you what? A failure. Draw a picture first. All right. Ship takes off 28 degrees, and then all of a sudden it turns due what? They want to know what the distance is from the point of beginning to where it is now. Now, one of the things we know is we know that this is equal to what? 28 degrees. And we also know, let's say the ship leaves port on a bearing and travels 8.2 miles. Okay, the ship then turns due east and travels 4.3 miles. Well, if I take the handy dandy black line maker, we know that this line is what? 90 degrees, based on this being east and this being north. You know that it's supposed to be down touching, so you have a few units. Okay, so what's 90 minus 28? Or what's, you got 90 and 28, subtract that from what? 180, what do you get? So this angle right here is 62 degrees. And if that angle is 62 degrees, it is 118. 118. Okay, now you got something to go on. Work it out. It's not 90. Well, you can on the triangle right there, but you don't need it. You need this angle right here. Now, one of the things that you might want to use that might help you and I'm trying to find, there we go. It's the law of cosines. Because you got two sides and an angle, do you not? Pull up your law of cosines. Now remember, the 8.2 squared plus 4.3 squared minus 2 times 8.2 times 4.3 times cosine 118. Law of cosines. Not law of sines, law of cosines. You got two sides and an angle. So the law of cosines is going to give you 8.2 squared plus or minus plus 4.3 squared. I get my law of sines and law of cosines mixed up. Minus 2 times 8.2 times 4.3 times cosine of 118. Check to make sure I got it memorized correctly. Law of cosines. Got them in your notebook?
Yeah.
All right, now what's 8.2 squared?
So 67.24.
67.24. 4.3 squared?
18.41.
and then all this stuff. Once you get right here.
Negative 65.
Minus a negative. Okay. If you don't know. And that's going to be, what's that come out to be? 141.1. One what?
141.1.
And then take the square root of that.
Yeah, and that's 11.88. That's a party, that's another way.
Yeah, that's this right here. 11.88. Now you can use your law of cosine, law of sines. So we want to find this angle. So now you can use the law of sines. Because you got this angle, and you can call this A. This would be little a. And you call this B. This would be little b. And then you're going to call that C. Little c. So sine of A. Oops, whatever. 4.3 over the sine of A is equal to what? 11.88 over the sine of 118. And that's going to be 4.3 times the sine of 118 divided by 11.88. Inverse sine is equal to theta. And somebody give me that number.
Can you just do the side as arrow equals 4.3 over 11.88?
That's what I did. I got everything to come out. This is what this comes out to. 18.7 degrees or 19 degrees. So that means that A is equal to 19 degrees. That means that the bearing right here is going to be 28. That'd be 48 minus 1 is 47. So the bearing is 47 degrees and the distance is 12 kilometers or whatever they're asking. Let's see what they got. What do we get? Okay, I got 48. They got 48. I thought I got 48. They're not. Okay, 47 degrees. It must be a rounding. Y'all must not have rounded or took it far enough. That's fine. It's close enough. Let's see what our distance comes out to be. Distance is 10.9, so you need to check your measurements on that. Yeah, check to see the square root. Didn't we get 118? Hold on a minute. Y'all got 141.
We got 141.
So y'all got something wrong up here. Check your numbers again. 8.2 plus 4.3 minus blah, blah, blah. They got 118. Y'all told me it was 141, so y'all got an error somewhere. Yes. Did you get 118?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, then what happened with the 141?
No idea.
Y'all just making up stuff, huh?